Guys, one of the biggest problems I think that we have in society right now is our inability to talk to each other. That is why we're so polarized, because one side doesn't want to talk to the other side, and they automatically dismiss a certain side just because they don't agree with their worldview and their facts. And elitists like Don Lemon are a part of the problem. And he goes and lets you know exactly what he thinks about people that don't necessarily agree with him. And he lets you know that, hey, if you don't agree with my narrative, because it's not about the facts, it's about the narrative. If you don't agree with my narrative, then you're a bad person, and therefore I can't be friends with you. I can't associate myself with you. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys, take a look at this clip of Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo discussing how Don Lemon basically unfriended his friends that support Trump.
Right now at his own damn rallies.
You know what the sad thing is, and I'll be honest with you. I have many people who I love in my life. And yeah, I come from a red state. I've lived in several red states. There are a lot of friends who I had to really get rid of because they are so nonsensical when it comes to this issue. They have every single talking point that they hear on state TV and that they hear from this president. They repeat it and they are blinded by it. And when I said to you the other night, there's no way, they can't believe it. They can't, I was just goosing you in a way, right? You know what they say, I was,
goosing
I was breaking your,
goosing works. It's not like that'll be all over the internet. Continue.
But here's the thing. I had to get rid of them because they are too far gone. I try and I try and I try. They'll say something really stupid, and then I'll show them the science and I'll give them the information, and they still repeat those talking points. And all the while, the state was a hot spot. If you look at the information that we put up last night that came up yesterday, it showed you how the red states have now taken over where the blue states, where people came in because there are bigger cities and there's more transmission, obviously, where people are closer together. And so now the red states are the problem. And I had to get rid of a lot of people in my life because sometimes you just have to let them go. I think that they have to hit rock bottom like an addict. Right? And they have to want to get help. They have to want to know the truth. They have to want to live in reality. They have to want to be responsible, not only for other people's lives, but for their lives. So you know what? It's so sad. And I don't know if after this I will ever be able to go back and be friends with those people, because at a certain point you just say they're too far gone and I got to let them go. And if they're willing to come back and if they're willing to live in reality, then I will welcome them with open arms. But I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
And look, also perspective.
So what Don Lemon is talking about here is that he seems to be talking about the virus and the disagreement from the left and the right, or apparent disagreement from the left and the right in terms of the facts regarding this virus. And what Don Lemon fails to understand is that the facts regarding corona are not necessarily settled, right? The science regarding corona is not necessarily settled. The facts and the science change every single day. And the problem is that I think that the left feels that the current science or whatever that comes out about corona is basically biblical law in regards to what we should be doing. And I'm not sure if Don Lemon realizes that the facts do continue to change. That's why there's some people that are just skeptical in terms of how much knowledge we actually have in regards to corona. And really, it's not about facts anymore. It's really about narrative. That's what it's about. It's not about facts. It's about narrative. Because he starts to talk about, well, the blue states, were doing bad at first, and now it's the red states. The red states are the problem. That's narrative, right? The red states particularly just don't want to be locked down from corona. They just don't. They don't want to be locked down from it, right? And also the red states, again, I live in North Carolina. Some people may consider that a red state. I'm in South Carolina right now. I'm in South Carolina. People wear their mask. People wear their mask. In public, they do what they need to do. The state just decided to stay open because the economy can't afford to close down. And it does not make you a bad person just because you don't necessarily want to abide by forced lockdowns and science that changes every single day. Some people just want to live their lives. And yes, I understand. Some people, because they want to do that, they may have a misunderstanding of certain facts and things of that nature. that's not something that is only applicable to Trump supporters. Liberals do the exact same thing on the far left, where they try to twist reality to make it fit whatever narrative they want it to fit. Like, for example, the left never talks about how New York is the worst state for corona. They never talk about it. They have the, I think, second highest deaths per capita last time I checked, behind New Jersey, which is another liberal state. But Cuomo and Bill de Blasio never get the blame for why their death rates are so high. They never get any blame for it. But President Trump somehow gets blamed for deaths that mostly happen in the blue states and the Northeast in this country. It really doesn't make sense. So my thing is that there are inconsistencies from the left in regards to what facts matter and what facts don't matter. There's certain facts on the left that only matter to them when it's convenient and when it fits their narrative. And I think that's what the problem is. That's what the disconnect is. But I think furthermore, Don Lemon just exemplifies what a lot of people on the right have been saying about the left. The left is not very tolerant. When you talk about politics, it's all about discourse, right? When you're trying to convince somebody of your worldview and you're trying to change somebody's mind, it's important that you're able to have reasonable and polite discourse with them. You don't necessarily have to be changing their mind immediately, but the thing is that you have to be able to talk to people. You have to, even if they don't believe you initially. And it's okay for somebody not to necessarily believe everything that you say. The whole point of conversation and talking is to gather and share ideas and then figure out which ideas you think are legitimate and which ones you don't. If you don't believe the things that President Trump says, okay, state your argument for why you don't believe what he say to somebody that support President Trump. And if the person that support President Trump, if they don't buy what you're saying, that's okay. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's also not helping you to marginalize that person and to act as if that person is stupid or that they don't understand certain facts that only matter to you and your narrative. That's not helping you at all. If anything, it's making you look more intolerant, and it's backing up their worldview that the left is incapable of actually having a conversation. And that's a big problem on the left. The thing about the right is that the right is always willing to have conversation, even if we disagree. We will have a debate about climate change, right? We'll have a debate about, healthcare. We'll have a debate about corona. We'll have a debate about anything. And it doesn't matter if you disagree with us. We still want to hear you out. We still want to hear your ideas because we're interested in learning about the ideas out there. But the left is not interested in learning about ideas. They think that all their ideas are right by definition. They think they're morally just by definition. And if you don't believe 100% of it, then you're a bad person. And that's the same thing that Don Lemon thinks. And that's a very elitist attitude that turns a lot of people off. And this is the exact same reason why so many people are drawn to President Trump, because he doesn't have that elitist attitude about the world. And generally, people on the right and conservatives don't have an elitist attitude like that about the world. Everybody's flawed, man. End of the day, I think that Don Lemon is just exemplifying the reason why we've become so polarized in this society. Because there's certain groups, particularly on the left, that refuse to come together and talk with people that disagree with them. You have to agree 100% with everything they say, or you're a bad person. And you will never, ever, ever change anybody's mind with that type of attitude. You will never, ever, ever do that. You have to be able to come together, talk to people, even if they don't believe you, even if they don't buy into what you're saying. It's okay to have that conversation. It's okay. People are entitled to their opinions. That's freedom. Everybody's entitled to believe what they want to believe, whether it's true or not. What Don Lemon is advocating for is no freedom of thought. You got to believe everything they want you to believe. If you're the type of person that'll cut somebody off because of their political views, even though outside of your political views, you're perfectly friendly, you love each other, you have fun together, you're good friends, then that says more about you than it says about them. That says that you're not a tolerant person, that you're not an open-minded person, that you're actually a closed-minded person. Not the person on the right that you're trying to convince. You are actually closed-minded because you're so closed-minded that you can't salvage a friendship just because of political disagreement. That's something I think a lot of people on the right have dealt with, is that being unfriended by people on the left because the left just can't tolerate what they feel to be immoral beliefs. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.